Look at Ohio State at this point. How have they kind of evolved since you saw them last month?
They're an interesting team because they play hard and they've got a lot of pieces and they're right there. Obviously, unfortunate situation against Wisconsin, but obviously they have our attention, and they beat us by 16. And they're in the fight every day. You can tell. Chris has got them still playing hard, playing together. And I think when you look at their, like I said, you look at the individual pieces that they have. They got a lot of different guys that can score. They have a lot of different guys that can post up. They compete defensively. They've got, some three-point shooters, and they've got some depth. So, team that we have the utmost respect for.
Is Sensabaugh, is he the best freshman in this league?
Certainly one of the top, yeah. I mean, there's some other good ones too, but
yeah.
He's really gifted offensively. And that's not to say that he's not, a good defensive player or anything, but like he has a real keen sense of how to score, how to get his shot off, scores from all different locations, how to use his body. He's impressive.
Fran, not that your players needed to be reminded, but the Minnesota game, you're always preaching to us that you got to respect everybody. Is that just another example of the fact that they kept it close with 8 scholarship players?
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing that all year. I mean, they got blown out a couple times. I think they've come to the realization, like, Garcia's probably not going to play. Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like. So a lot of it falls on Battle and Cooper, but those other kids are gaining confidence. I mean, they've got a really good freshman class. They've got some size, and they've got some speed, and they fight you on defense, and you got to make shots to beat them. And we had a stretch where we were, and then we weren't, and then we did at the end. But they're going to keep coming. Ben's doing a good job with them.
What did Michigan State do to Ohio State to hold them to 41 points?
That score was a little bit, I mean, you're right, they held them to 41. That's impressive, but it was a little bit deceiving because they, the last 4 or 5 minutes, they really extended it. It was a pretty close game up until then, and they just kept scoring. The last went from like 9 or 10 to 20 pretty quick, and Walker went off a little bit. He's playing really well.
Coach, your press has been pretty effective defensively as of late. What makes it so effective, and maybe what are some advantages and disadvantages of playing that style?
Yeah, there's always disadvantages because you're opening up the floor and giving them opportunities to attack you and throw over and shoot threes. It can be problematic when you play a team that plays 4 guards. But it's something that you can play different ways. You can be more aggressive with it, less aggressive with it. We were aggressive the other day, then we weren't so aggressive with it. And it can be more of a contained press. A lot of teams play contained press. We kind of do both, but we just feel like it disrupts rhythm, for the most part.
You also have 6'8" Chris, 6'9" Patrick often at the front of the press. They move well laterally. How big is that?
Yeah, it's good on a number of different levels. It limits what you can see, and you get a deflection or two, and you can create some offense with your defense. Both of those guys are pretty smart. How far to go and when to break it off and match up. And for the most part, if somebody tries to attack them, they can slide their feet as well. So that helps.
Is that something you maybe look for in recruiting when you're deciding who to take? Do you kind of have a picture in your mind about how they can help offensively and as well as defensively?
Yeah, I think with the way we play, as much length as you can have. Yeah, I think any coach now is probably going in that direction. Whether you're playing man or zone, you need length. You want guys that are active and have a sense of that. What kind of feel do they have? The momentum shift, the time and score. Who's on the floor for them? Are we in the bonus or not? Do we need a steal? We got to come up. We got to be more aggressive now because we're running out of time. We can be less aggressive. We have the lead, and as long as the clock's moving, that's good. So there's a lot that goes into it. You're not just flying around. There's a purpose to it.
Looking back at the Ohio State game in the second half, being connected on defense in the half court was an issue in that second half. What have you seen from the team second half of the Purdue game, throughout the Minnesota game, that's kind of rectified those issues?
We have to be better than we were up there and give them credit. They got a lot of different guys that go off the dribble. A lot of different guys. Not only the guys that start, and he's changed the starting lineup 3 or 4 times. So you got Sensabaugh, you got Thornton, Likely, Sewing, Gale. He's got a multitude of guys. Key will come out and try to back you down more so than face up and take you off the dribble. But there's a lot of guys that are going. So you got to be able to hold your ground and then make decisions on your rotations and try not to get burned too badly on open threes.
Well, 25 games in, how do you feel about this team? What's been good? Where have you been pleased? And then where would you like to see improvement or maybe an extension of improvement?
Yeah, no, I think we've absorbed our share of injury and sickness and so forth. I think we've competed, been fairly consistent in that area. For the most part, we've shot it well. We've had some games where we have not, and obviously you hope that doesn't happen. But I do think when we haven't shot it well, it hasn't because we took bad shots. It just didn't go in. We still move it and share it. So from that standpoint, pleased with the unselfishness of the group. And obviously we have 6 games left, and all against really good teams. So you gotta make sure that you're locked into the game plan, that you're staying true to who you are. We're gonna push it, but we're gonna be smart with it. We got to fight defensively, and we got to fight on the glass. Did a really good job on the glass on Sunday. Obviously a lot harder against Purdue with their incredible size, but did not do a good job there. So there's a lot of different things that you can improve on, but at the end of the day, you got to defend and rebound.
How much does the turnovers you've been forcing defensively not negate some of the rebounding issues you've had?
Well, it's crucial, if you're, if they're getting 10 more rebounds than you, you gotta combat that. You gotta make more threes, or you gotta get some steals and some easy baskets. So, I do think that if you're having success with the press, it energizes you in a lot of ways at both ends. I think that's important, and we're going to continue to play that way. I probably got to get some guys some more minutes and keep some guys fresh. So the last 2 games I've played a lot of guys.
What did you think about facing the press as a point guard when you were playing? Did it bug you? Did you say bring it on? Or
you know what, Pat? It was a different time.
True.
Like when I played, we still didn't have the 3-point shot.
Yeah.
But more teams did press. More teams played zone back then. Fewer teams were playing zone because of the 3-point shot. But it would really be a function of who were you playing against. I would welcome a press against a lot of people because I was really good at breaking it. But then there were teams, if you remember, the really good Georgetown teams. We played them they were really quick and really big and physical. That's a lot harder, you know, because now it's a function of, yeah, okay, get it to the point guard and he breaks the press. That's one component of it. But when you're playing a team like that, you better have 5 guys playing together and moving and coming to the ball and giving you options, because you're going to get trapped and you're going to get forced up the sideline into a trap. Can you see it coming? And all that. So you saw more 1-2-1-1 than you saw man-to-man, and you saw man-to-man run and jump. A lot of 2-2-1. There wasn't a lot of 1-2-2 the way we play it until Rolly Massimino started playing it. He was, I've told you before, that's you know, where I learned it and studied it with him. And I like it because you can be aggressive with it, but it still protects the basket, because you know, you're not pressing to give up layups. You know, so as a point guard, my job was to try to split, get through it, and get layups or dunks for my teammates. Because you do that, they're going to get out of it. So, you know, we're trying to press you and keep it on and not give up easy baskets. And then you can keep it on. And it's also a function now of, you know, in those days, there was no clock. So now it has additional benefit. You know, if they take 15 or 17 seconds, 13 seconds left to try to score. That's stuff you have to guard.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Thanks.
Yep.